Hi, I'm Jason Sterling, and guess what? Oh my God, we got another trailer for Enchanted by Nature. This is a full trailer. In fact, it's more than a full trailer. It's almost like a mini live stream. I don't know. It's like 6 minutes long, which means it'll probably take us about 6 hours to go through it here on this video. No, it won't. I'm going to try to speed it up more than that. But it's a very long trailer. It's supposed to be a gameplay trailer, but there's a smattering of glimpses of the world and glimpses of build by and glimpses of casts, of course, that go in there. But we're mostly focused on the gameplay. What can we do with this, right? How is it going to change the game? How is it going to make the game more fun to play? Now, I know the build by, let's get that out of the way. We've had a build by trailer. We had build by in the first trailer. I've already commented. I love the build by stuff. I don't need to comment that too much more through this video. There's a lot more build by that we have not seen that pops up through these pictures and stuff. I love it. I love it. It's going to change building. It's going to make building great. It's going to make storytelling great because you're going to be able to create a new background for your stories and your adventures. That's not gameplay, right? The cast stuff also looks good. And I'm going to say right off the bat, as the world, we start here with this trailer with sort of a glimpse of the world, right? I still feel the same. The world is pretty and it looks really highly detailed and they've put a lot of stuff into it. I mean, it feels like it took some effort, but I'm also still kind of feeling like, where's the magic part? It feels so familiar. It feels so much like places we have and places we've been. Everything is, it's the end of the day for me. I've been at work all day long. I'm super tired, super exhausted. So I might flub a few things here and there, but I'm trying not to because I do want to get this done. The trailer just launched today, just dropped today. Now, after being introduced to Mother Nature and that world kind of fly by, we come into a new person here. Now, first I thought she was my queen fairy, right, from the first trailer, who I am in love with, but no, they did not use the same person for the second trailer, which is a mistake. They should have used a queen. She's a queen. There's a reason why she's a queen. Mother Nature, I don't care about Mother Nature. I care about Queen of the Fairies. She's not in this. We have a brand new person. She's going to lead us into our first look at the sort of first, gameplay item, which we have already seen this. The first thing that's coming up here is these sort of planters, these in-home house planters, right? That you have to take care of. You have to take care of the plant or it will die. That was a big question I had about it because that's what it looked like in the first trailer. But you have to water them, kind of take care of them or they will die. There is an option where you can, and I don't know how you come up with this stuff. I mean, I guess we'll learn when we get the pack, right? Somehow you can collect fairy dust and when they're talking about it, it shows a fairy showering in the sink. So does that mean that we lure fairies in with our sink, right? And then collect fairy dust from them? I don't know. But you can collect fairy dust, you dump it on the plant, and the plant will take care of itself from that point on. But it attracts pixies, which are a new sort of animation, a sort of special effect. And I guess they're going to have some sort of diabolical or maniacal sort of impact on your environment. Much like gnomes do, right? We're going to talk about gnomes coming up here in a little bit. Gnomes get on my nerves. Gnomes get fed to the recycler in my game. If they can't behave, they can't be good, they get recycled. Maybe they get lucky and Grimm puts them in a new gnome body somewhere, reincarnates them. But I don't put up with that. I don't care you didn't get the pie or cookies or whatever it was you thought you wanted, Mr. Gnome. I got to digress. I'm going to go off on a tangent here. Anyway, you can do that with fairy dust. And so we're going to see here, some plants kind of die off. And I guess maybe once they're dead, you can't bring them back. And you buy them fully, maybe alive and fully grown, like you do any house plant. That's what it appears to be the case. So they're not really going to grow for you, although they will die and shrink up. During this segment, we have, I guess you call it a plant sim. I've never played with plant sims. I haven't done anything in game with plant sims. I know there's a big hope that this pack is somehow going to elevate the experience of interacting and maybe playing a plant sim in the game. I don't see any evidence of that. If you're hoping for maybe a development tree, like we're going to see in a little bit for fairies or some sort of complexity beyond what we've got, No. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say no because there's not any evidence of it here. It looks like they're just integrating plant sims into the background, like Mother Nature was a plant sim and another sim coming up. Whoop, no spoilers. Another sim coming up is a plant sim. But we have one here who's wearing like the crazy guy's hat that eats dead fish off the beach. Okay, and I'm going to be a little bit honest here. I am having a little bit of trouble in some of this trailer actually understanding what the narrator is saying in some cases. I feel like she said something about the plant sim and I just couldn't really make it out. So I'm not real sure what it was. I'm going to listen to it again. And if I do figure it out, I'll like write a little subtitle here on the screen. Like, oh, this is what he's about. But just looking at it now, you know, going through it, I'm like, I have no idea why he's there. I don't know. Is he a gardener? Can you hire someone to come take care of your plants? Maybe that's what it is. Because you can't hire people to come in and take care of plants for you. So maybe they'll come in and take care of your house plants. We roll into a scene and an idea of growing outdoor plants inside. We can do that. I don't know what the big kind of focus is here. We can grow plants inside. We have greenhouses now, and it's a greenhouse is no different than a regular house. So it always worries me in a trailer when they highlight things you can kind of already do, like, oh, look, it's a new gameplay feature. Everyone knows it's not. We can grow plants inside right now. Okay, one thing that is new, but I don't think it's any big deal, is we can name and talk to houseplants. Okay, it's a minor addition. You know, it's fine. It's kind of cute. I'm going to have loads of fun naming houseplants, but especially with my sense of humor. But talking to them and naming them is a very simple change. And at the end of the day, especially talking to them with a lot of things as a long-term player, that's not new. They're still just going to be there standing there talking. They just happen to be talking to a plant. And there's no evidence here that it's going to help the plant in any way. The plant's not going to grow bigger or brighter or not need food or water. It's just now you can talk to them. Now you can select, hey, I'll talk to them. Maybe your mood changes because so much in The Sims revolves around moodlet changes. So maybe that's the case. But my concern here with this is it's a feature, but it's not going to feel new. It's going to feel very familiar and very, well, I mean, we're just talking. It's just talking to a plant instead of a sim. So that is new though. And so is naming the plant, but I don't really consider it much of a feature. You know, that's how I'm looking at it. The other thing I want to add real quick here is being a long-term player. I've been playing for 10 years. A lot of us have. And that's part of why some of this stuff feels so familiar, because after 10 years, it is familiar. We've been here. We've done that. We've done the animations. We've done the emotions. We've done the moodlets. We've done all of that stuff. And none of it's really changed all that much. The animations might change a little bit, or we might get a few new animations here or there. But I think sometimes when you see people and they're really like, this isn't new, this doesn't feel new, da-da-da-da, that's what they're talking about. I mean, for 10 years, we've been playing it. And I don't know what Maxis's plan is. Maybe their plan is for all the old people just to drop off and be replaced by new people. Maybe they have a broader vision and a broader scope there. But that is part of the problem, that you can't keep falling back on stuff that feels so familiar. I don't think you can. But if you're new or newer, this is probably all going to seem pretty new, right? And you're looking at the trailers, you're looking at this stuff, you're thinking, what are you bitching about? You know, this looks good. This doesn't look bad. This looks really good. And I agree it does. If you're newer to the game, it's definitely going to look good because you haven't seen it before. Now we started to get into the meat of this pack, and this is my favorite part. We're starting to really look at fairies. This is the gameplay thing of this pack, right? This is the center focus of this pack. It's not really nature, it's the fairies. Fairies are the center focus of this pack. And this chick, she meets like the prince of the fairies there, and I guess he tells her go to the forest and plant a plant, right? Plant the little fairy plant. And Mother Nature springs out of the plant and says, yeah, what did you need? And she's like, I want to be a fairy too. I hate my life. I want something new. I want to be one with nature. And she's like, good. Okay, here you go. Bam. Drink. No. She's like, drink this stuff. It's not even that simple as bam. It's like, drink this stuff. Now, let me tell you something. Did you see Wicked? What happens when you drink green elixir? All your children come out green. Yeah, maybe they're magical, but she had a really hard life because her mom couldn't keep her dress on and drank green elixir from some random dude just going door to door selling like vacuums or something. And what happened? It almost ruined her whole life. In fact, I haven't seen the second part of Wicked. I'm not going to have any spoilers here. If you haven't read the book. Anyway, no spoilers. No spoilers, but don't fucking drink green elixir some random person gives you in like a forest. Just a little public service announcement. But she does drink it. She does drink it because she's a fool. And Ben has infinite trust in humanity or simmanity. And she wanders off through the forest, happy as can be, where Mother Nature just conveniently disappears. Like, I'm not going to be here for this one. Good luck, honey. And off she goes. Now, I'm going to say this. When it comes to the world, this is the first time looking at this pond that you get a little bit of that sense of magic, right? So we haven't had the world trailer yet. Maybe there is something that's kind of coming down the pike a little bit. Again, we're going to talk on this even again at the end of this video and the end of this trailer. So maybe there is something coming that is going to surprise us, because looking at this, I'm getting a little bit more of a feel for it. Now, it is at night. It is at night. That could be a clue. That could be a secret to it. But, when I look at that, I think, yeah, that doesn't look too bad. That's not too bad. Okay, and another thing that is good here is a transformation into a fairy. She's very good animations. Looks like a really cool sort of swoop through the air, and she comes back down with wings. And super cool, we go right into cast. Now, I don't know in the game if we're going to go right into cast, right? Are we? Or are we going to have to find like a mirror or a dresser or cheat it, and go into cast with her? But once we're in cast, I think we're probably going to get the option to go there once she changes into a fairy. I think it's going to take us there. I do think that. We do get the option to use the cats and dogs cast system to change the color of her wings, do a lot of different changes when it comes to their physical appearance, their facial appearance. That's a really cool system, and it's not used in game a whole lot, and it's mostly for stuff like this, like horses, cats, and dogs, now these fairies. I don't know if it's been used actually anyplace else. It is good here, though, and you can kind of see some of the examples we're going through, right? And what she decides, she is a horny. She's a horny fairy is what she is. She's decided to be a horny fairy and get a couple of horns stuck right on her head so that the whole world knows. When they see her, they're like, yeah, she's horny. Next, because she's horny, she goes to the park. We get a little thing there about regenerating emotional force, I think they called it. The fairies, of course, do live on emotional energy. Now, they can either drink it, much like a vampire can eat plasma fruit and stuff like that, or they can suck it out of people, I guess, which is probably the method I'm going to use. And that's a method she's going to use, too. She's going to suck that emotional energy right out of you. She is. So, and she's going to film it for OnlyFans. If you don't do it, you will die. There's a fairy death, new fairy death, which basically is just laying down and dying from the looks of it. It's kind of like, oh, you had nothing to eat. And he tries to fly away. Now, I don't know if that is part of the death animation. It may be. So I don't know if Maxis Marketing Magic went through and said, hey, let's make it look like that. But he's, we have to punch the button that says try to fly away, and then he tries to fly away, and because he's weak, he crashes and dies. Or if it's part of the dying process, every time he dies, he's trying to fly away, he's trying to escape death, and he falls and dies. But it's a really cool kind of animation. Again, I think it looks good. I think it's suitable for this new sort of death type. Now, one thing it does not show is, do we get a new urn? Where's the new urn, you guys? Come on, that's always a big question, Maxis, and it does not show us a new urn here. I'm going to assume surely there's some sort of new urn, just because there usually is. Now we come up to the magic moment here in the Sims trailer. We had the shower scene before. Now we're getting the true magic moment in this trailer. We're going to see some feisty fairy love, right? Because Miss Horny here, she's met somebody. She's met somebody they're in love. Well, I don't know. I don't know that. I think that they just met. And maybe it was love at first sight. Maybe it was something else. In fact, I called it Feisty Fairy Love, right? Because here's the deal. When you're doing a PG-13 sort of like presentation, you're allowed to use the word fuck one time, right? So I'm saving that for later in the video. So what I was going to call it was Feisty Fairy Fuck, but I got to wait. I can't say that yet because otherwise I won't get a PG-13 rating. I'm counting on it. So anyway, it's Feisty Fairy Love, and it is kind of cool. It's a very cool, again, a very cool animation, and they shrink down to fairy size, you know, to have their little interaction, and it is massive. It's like an explosion. It's like a galaxy appears in the room, or like we dropped a bunker buster on it, right? The United States showed up, dropped a bunker buster on their Feisty Fairy Love, and bam, bam. Now she's still horny. She is still horny, right? Still got those horns. But in this case, we have seen the new woohoo type, which also is very cool. I do like it. I think it's a lot of fun. Another thing I think is very fun, and I really do like this, is at the end of that scene, the fairy goes into a dollhouse, right? To lay down and take a nap or something. I don't know, obviously, what all they can do with the dollhouse. I don't know if it's just this dollhouse or every dollhouse. It better be every dollhouse. I'm going to say that. I think it should be every dollhouse. It's a super cute animation, and it's exactly what I would expect fairies to do, to go into a dollhouse, maybe to spend the night or hang out or something. It also reminded me, the first time I saw this, it reminded me there's a very old movie called The Incredible Shrinking Woman, and it's from like maybe the late 70s, early 80s, and it stars Lily Tomlin, which you may know. She's been in stuff, you know, recently in the last couple of years, although she's older, obviously. She starred in this movie as an adult in the late 70s or early 80s. So, you know, 50 years ago or 40 years ago. So, but she's in it. And as the title implies, she shrinks. She's shrinking throughout the movie due to basically capitalism is what does it to her. And so her family for Christmas, as she's getting smaller, buys her a dollhouse to live in within the main house. So she'll feel more, you know, in size with the furniture and stuff like that. So that's why I thought of when I first saw this. But I do think it's very, very cool. I really like it. And let's see what's coming next. The next thing to see, of course, is the big magic item as well. It's called the development tree, the sort of fairy progress tree or development tree as she develops her abilities and her magical powers. Now, unfortunately, the magical powers to some extent, there's something cool. You can age up a sim, which I assume means you could kill them, because once they're an elder, if you hit age up, are they going to die? They don't show that, but it seems to me like that's a natural extension of that ability, right? So that could be a lot of fun. Also, they can change emotions. They can change your sim's emotions or another sim's emotions. That's kind of highlighted here and showcased with the land grabs, who I love it. Girl, do it. Do it. Screw them over. I'm sure that she probably came to their door, you know, dressed in a little outfit, said, I'm selling like Fairy Scout cookies. And, you know, they were like, I'm not going to pay $10 for a box of cookies. My maid can make me cookies. I'm not going to buy you cookies. And she just was like, okay, I understand. No, that's fine. Went back there and turned their lives upside down. Now, I love that story. I'm going there. I'm going that story. I think that's what happened. And I hope that she ages up Nancy Landgrab, right? And she's going to go look in the mirror and be all the plastic surgery's gone, right? She's an old lady. And then she makes her husband hate her, makes her kids hate her, which I think they already kind of do, but she reinforces that. I'm digging it. Should have bought the damn cookies. I always buy the cookies. For one thing, I love cookies. I do really love Girl Scout cookies. For another thing, it supports the Girl Scouts, and I love the Girl Scouts too. So anyway, that's what they should have done. They didn't do it. Serves them right. Now, one thing that I felt was, it is a feature, it is an additional feature, but it's very minor, is that one of your powers is that you can bring gnomes to life. But the way it looks in the trailer and the way I think it's going to look in the game, you know, a little halo appears over his head. That's cute, very cute. And he kind of jiggles, right? The statue just kind of jiggles around. I mean, if you're going to bring the gnome to life, I would really like to see a little gnome, like a toddler, basically, running around doing stuff, not just the statue kind of jiggling. And I don't think we're going to get that, because I think if we were going to get that, it would show that, and it doesn't show it. I think that's kind of a missed opportunity. I don't know how hard it would be. I'm not a programmer. Maybe it's just a lot harder than I think, but I would think you could use the toddler form, the toddler matrix, right? The toddler scaffolding to be a gnome, right? But it didn't happen. Like, I don't think it did. If it does, I'm going to be thrilled. I'm going to be super happy if it does, but it doesn't show any evidence of that. Now, the gnomes now, I guess, will at least fix things around your house. And I guess, I'm thinking back on it, they're going to fix things around your house and garden and clean and I think guard the house, right? So there's some things that they'll do, which is great. That's great. Because the fact they're not tearing shit up, and bugging me for like treats and food and whatever, so whatever they want. I don't even know half time what they want. I don't care. It's a holiday and you're going to come make mischief in my house. You chose the right place. You chose the wrong place. Now, you want to stop by and fix stuff and clean? You want to clean, Mr. Gnome? You get the cleaning. We'll be best friends. You want a garden? We're going to be best friends. You want to make messes and invite all your friends over and act all threatening. In fact, there's a scene coming up like that. No spoilers. Shh, don't share it. No spoilers. A scene's coming up like that. Yeah, that's what you want to do. Recycler. Put it in the recycler. I could use the bits. Now, as part of the gameplay, we're going to go through again the Nature Nomad, which we already went through with the primary trailer, right? That's where the queen was. The queen of the fairies started out as a Nature Nomad. I guess this is just highlighting the Nature Nomad part of it again. They're going to forage again. Great. Yes, 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 yes. We needed to see her eat more live frogs. Yes, we did. Sleep on the ground, live outside, right? She eats the frogs, she gets sick. Now, the crazy thing is, because I see her, she goes over, she meditates for a little bit, and then she discovers her stove. And you can see her like looking at it like, what is this? What is this? What is this hunk of like iron and metal? What is this magical thing here, right? And I'm like, I got news. You can cook on it. Yeah, you can. And she's like, cook? Like what? What could I cook? Like books? Can I cook books on it? Can I cook gnomes on it? Can I cook little gnomes on it? Well, maybe you could cook those things on it. I'm not really a fan of burning books, but if that's where you're at, that's where you're at. I'm not here to judge. But what I would say first, let's try this first. Cook your food on it. Yeah. So instead of eating that frog live, like your Jabba the Hutt, yeah, we cook it first. Okay. We cook it. And so that's my idea. That's what I think's going on there. I see it in her head. I see her meditating, and then she's kind of drawn. The magic draws her to the stove and says, girl, stop eating them frogs alive. Batter them up, fry them legs, enjoy yourself, get on over here. That's my thought. That's what I think happened. Now, what else happened? Well, we get another revisit here because we've seen her take a bath outside in like water. Now, in this case, though, this is like a step above. This is like a swag bag at the Academy Awards. She jumps into the nearest pool of stagnant ass water that she can find. Big sign in front of it says, warning, do not swim here. Water has been found to contain flesh-eating bacteria. But she jumps in there anyway. She's like, I don't care about that. That's just the government trying to keep you down. That's the government trying to keep you from being free. Are you going to be free? Are you going to be free? Then jump your ass into that stagnant pond, grab up a big handful of that slimy, thick water, rub it all over your body, and just parade around town. Like you are free. That's freedom. That is freedom. Now, you may think avoiding flesh-eating bacteria is freedom, like another type of freedom, but nah. Don't let the man hold you down. You just jump right on in there. That's what she does. She jumps on in there and somehow, I guess, does, I don't know. It looks like it's like green filth on her, even still. But somehow it comes out of it, I guess, clean enough. because she is happy and she is dancing. But now I'm happy and dancing. I'm happy because this is my favorite part, you guys. This is the remake of Brokeback Mountain. The remake of Brokeback Mountain. We got these two guys here and they're fishing. You know, that's a code word in Brokeback. I'm going to go fishing, right? And that's what the one guy in the open shirt, the hot guy, right? That hot guy got his shirt all open. He's like, of course I want to go fishing with you. Yeah. But he's disappointed. He's disappointed. He's like, this was bad luck. He really meant to fish. When I thought when he was talking about, you know, dangling some bait, that he meant dangling some bait, not dangling bait, not fishing. And here we are fishing. Why am I wasting my life fishing here? Anyway, let me say the guy that brought him there, it was worth the risk because he's hot. He looks like Denzel Washington. I mean, I think they did a Denzel Washington sim. They put him here. Now all he wants to do is fish. It's too bad. But the other guy is cute too. In fact, the outfit he's got with that blue shirt and those jeans, he looks like it's his first week at prison. It does, don't you think? And it's so cute. That is so hot. That is. He's got his shirt all open. You know, he's going to try to find like somebody at prison to kind of hook up with because get them early. Get them early. You do not want to be passed around. You don't want to be passed around. Prison's nasty. Prison is, I mean, it looks nasty. So far, I've avoided prison, knock on wood. I'm going to hope that continues. But it's nasty. You don't want to be traded for cigarettes and drugs. And that's the other thing. Why do we send people to prison for violating the law and then they get to prison and it's basically just one laissez-faire market of drugs, prostitution, violence? I mean, what's that for? I don't get it. Anyway, that's kind of what I was thinking when I was looking at him. The whole point, of course, of this little segment is I guess there's going to be something to do with luck, and you have good luck and bad luck, and you've got to keep it in balance. It doesn't really get into it too much, but it's obvious, right? If you have good luck, you're more likely to catch a fish. No. If you have good luck, you're more likely to catch Denzel Washington. And if you have bad luck, you're more likely to end up fishing through the afternoon. And it's the 20th anniversary of Brokeback 2. It is. So I feel a little let down by this, trailer. You know, you could have gone there. It's Pride Month. It's the 20th anniversary of Brokeback Mountain. And what do? They went and really fished. Really, Maxis? Who's in charge of marketing? I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. Fire your marketing department. Put me in charge of marketing. I know how to sell shit. I can sell anything. I could have sold this like that for $80. $80. Yeah, $80. $80. Just by having these two guys go at it. Yeah, could have, but you missed your chance. That's okay. There's still time in the future. Call me. Now, oh my God, I've got bad news. Oh my God. Why? Why does this always happen? Just like your first week in jail, he caught VD. Yeah, that's what happened. I gotta ask something here. How come everybody in these trailers catches VD? Why? This says it's like Ennis Brook or Ennis Green or Ennis Harbor or something. Ennis, I don't know. Ennis something, and it's Ennis, the Villages, is what it is. That's what I think it is, because everybody gets VD, and this guy got VD, and he shows up to your door, and he's like, and you're like, no. And he's like, what? It doesn't rub off. It's not that dangerous. And you're like, yeah, no. Yes. What's his name again? Rudy, whatever his name is. Yes, it does. Newbie. I'm going to call you Newbie for new meat. But yeah, Newbie, it does rub off, and I don't have any body-sized condoms laying around the house, so you're going to have to go. Yeah, I know. I'm really upset you traveled all the way over here too. So he goes home and a whole bunch of demons show up, and I'm going to send him a recycler. I'm going to be like, oh, did you get a bunch of demon gnomes in your front yard? Well, I've got a solution for you. Well, beyond the whole cure your VD. That's my other thing. Yeah, go cure your VD. Wait, I'm giving away all the spoilers. I'm giving away the whole trailer. It's coming next. So Grizzly Adams shows up and he's got something growing out of his beard. I don't know. It looks really weird to me. That's one thing I do want to say. It looks really, really weird. And I don't think I'm ever going to use that. I really don't. I don't know what it's supposed to imply. I do know that it says he's an elixir enthusiast. I'm thinking that means he's a recreational user is what I'm thinking that means. But I see all those flowers in his beard, and I'm like, no, you're a habitual user. Mm-hmm. Now, what he really is the apothecary guy, or as we call him around here, Dr. Feelgood. And he's mixing up some liquid meth there, I guess, or something. And he guzzled it right down like they do in The Sims, like they do in these trailers anyway. I mean, you just hand someone a bottle of something in these trailers, like, here, drink this. What is it? Liquid meth. Oh, okay. That sounds great. I've never tried liquid meth. Oh, well, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. So anyway, don't do it, by the way. Don't. I'm being sarcastic, of course. If anybody offers you anything anywhere, basically, buy your own drinks, by the way, at the bar, stuff like that. Yeah, don't take it. Don't. Save yourself. But this guy, he's going to drink it on down. He's going to try out all of his potions and concoctions. He's the apothecary guy. This is another big part of the gameplay. It's another part where I do think it's cool. There are some cool new animations, I feel like, to this. At least they feel new. And it's going to be a neat new little career to have. I do think it's going to feel a little familiar, like stuff we've done, stuff we've been doing. But it looks cool, and I think some people are going to like this. I've warmed up to it a little bit more with this second trailer than I did in the first trailer. So yeah, I do think that it's warmed up on me a little bit. I hope that it doesn't end up feeling too familiar, because it does look like, like it could be a good mechanic in the game. And again, if you don't have every pack, right? If you don't have every pack, maybe you haven't encountered this yet, it's probably going to be pretty cool for you, right? If you haven't been doing stuff like this, like mixing potions, maybe you don't have Realm of Magic, maybe you don't have Jungle Adventure, stuff like that, where you collect stuff to make medicine. If you don't have that, I think it's going to seem pretty cool to you for sure. But even if you do have that, like I do, I am kind of looking forward to it. The more I watch it, the more I look at it, and I think it could be a lot of fun for storytelling and stuff as well. So from that standpoint, I'm going to give it. It's warming on me. It is warming on me. Now, since he's the closest thing to a doctor in these parts, both of these people come to visit. As you recall from the first trailer, no free food in this, whatever this is called. No free medicine either. No free health care. No, this place is, I don't think, in Ireland. I think it's in America. And I think it's in a red state in America. No free health care and no free food. You want to eat, you dig that stuff up out of the ground. I don't know what it is. Looks like a dirty diaper. Better try it. You don't want to starve to death. So this guy here, newbie, he comes here. He's trying to get better. He's trying to get well. God, no, you get well, buddy. Keep it in your pants when you're in jail, right? But anyway, he's trying to get well, and he comes here. And what's his face? Grizzly Adams. He's like, okay, now tell me what happened. And he's like, well, Vice President Couch Pounder wrote a book, and in the book, it just sounded so great. It sounded so cool, and there was an old couch at the dump, and it was so hot. And I mean, it was looking at me, and it was giving me those looks, like a couch gives you, those come hither looks. And I just couldn't help myself. I'd read that book, and I just thought, I got to try that. And this is what happens. Don't have sex with a couch, any couch, but especially don't have sex with a couch at the dump, right? And I don't care what our vice president says. He's an idiot. I mean, I didn't read his book, but there's nothing, looking at him, there's nothing that says to me, follow his advice. So don't be a couch pounder, okay? Vice President Couch Pounder with his Sharpie eyeliner. Don't do it. Don't do it. Anyway, newbie here did do it. And look what happened. He got VD. So I'm trying to protect you. I'm trying to look out for you, especially if you live in America, in a red state, and voted for our current administration. Don't screw a couch. Now, this does give us a little hint for real life. Let me tell you something as a gay man. Dr. Feelgood here doesn't have any idea what he's doing, apparently, especially with the lady. He does not know what's going on, so he just throws glitter on her. That's what he does, just throws glitter on her. And I'm going to tell you, that does work. I pretty much have gotten every raise and every promotion in my life by just, like, when I say I can do something and then I fuck it up, then I just throw glitter at my boss. And that's not really true. No, it's not true. Every raise and promotion I got in my life probably came from sleeping with the boss, but glitter was usually a part of that. So There's some advice for you too. Don't sleep with your boss. Don't. Unless you're a Ferengi. If you're a Ferengi in the Star Trek universe, sleep with your boss. But if you're a human, I mean, sleep with your boss if you find them attractive, I guess, Yeah, I mean, if they're hot, rich, powerful, if your boss is Elon Musk. No, Elon Musk isn't hot though. He is rich and powerful. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, she's not happy. The glitter did not work on her. She was not impressed. I still say try it. Got an F on that paper. Go see your professor and throw glitter at him. See if that does it. Just try it out. Do try that part out. And let me know in comments after you throw glitter at someone to solve a problem between you and them. Let me know how it goes. I really want to know. I really want to know. Now we go through a thing here. There's like 3 new plants that I guess are going to do stuff. Like you can harvest the sort of emotional stuff it looks like from one plant that you need to drink to stay alive as a fairy. Another one electrocutes you. I don't know. That's what it does. It electrocutes you. And the other one, the last one, I don't know, makes pixies or something. I really was unclear what was going on with these plants, but except that you do get electrocuted by one of them. And again, it's cute and it's funny, and probably you can die from it, which is everyone loves, right? Another death, another form of death. But again, when he's getting electrocuted, it looks like how you always get electrocuted. So is this going to feel a lot different? I don't know. I guess it depends on what else they do. Then he goes in and he cures, newbie couch pounder, and it works. It works. Hooray, hooray. I'm really glad about that because I might give him a second chance, even though he went and had sex with the couch out at the dump. And that's really not where I'm coming from in the Sims. Okay, that's not my Sims life, right? My Sim doesn't live that life, you guys. But even still, he's kind of cute, and I'm digging the whole like prison thing. So I think we are going to give him a second chance now that he's cured. Now we're supposed to have a world trailer or something coming up, right? We do a little bit of a pass through of the world here. It is the same stuff we've always seen so far, just some slightly different angles. And if anything, I'm going to say it makes the world seem kind of small. This sort of pass through. Now, I don't know how many lots there are. It's hard to tell sometimes. There was something that still looks to me like a rabbit hole that you can see people eating at a table outside of the structure. I haven't seen them go into the structure, right? And the structure looks like a rabbit hole. So I don't know if it's going to be some sort of rabbit hole restaurant or something, or if it's just a structure where they're sitting outside. I don't know. But yeah, they go around the world, but it's obvious the places that we're hitting. We've been here. We've seen it. It's just slightly different angles. We do come in at the end to ever something. What's it called? Like the first one's called, I'm looking at the first one, Admore, the coast of Admore, which I think this is supposed to be based on an island off of the coast of Ireland, right? So it's an island off the coast of Ireland, and I think it's called Innisbrook, maybe is what it's called. And that's the name keeps popping in my head, and I think that's the reason why. I don't remember exactly, but I do think that's the case, maybe where they're coming out with this. That's why it's got this sort of coastal feel to it. So that's the first kind of town there. I'm going to run this video and look here as we go through it. Oh, Spruce Dairy Grove is the other one. The building there, the red building, that's a place I think is a rabbit hole. It looks like a rabbit hole, right? So why there are tables and people sitting outside it, unless it's a rabbit hole restaurant, I don't know. I don't know why that would be the case. So it could be a rabbit hole restaurant or a rabbit hole bar or something like that. There's no reason for it to be a rabbit hole bar, though, because bars are in the base game. So there's no real reason for that. The only thing I could think of was be a rabbit hole restaurant. They've done nothing to imply that except put tables outside it and have people at the tables. I don't see them eating. Can't really zoom in on it. Maybe later I'll do a still shot and zoom in. And again, if it turns out it's a restaurant, I'll write it on the screen. But I do think it's a rabbit hole. They keep focusing on this building, right? So that's the other thing it tells me it must be something. The other reason why I think it's rabbit hole is because there's a tree growing through the roof. And I find it very hard to believe that we're going to be able to do that now that I'm looking at it in build mode. standard build mode, I don't think that's going to happen. It could. Maybe we can stick a tree through the roof now, but I doubt it. I do not see that happening. So I think this is some sort of rabbit hole, and I am, in fact, going to go ahead and zoom in on it later in picture form, see if I can figure out what it is. Now, lastly and most brief, we get a couple of quick glimpses here of Everdo. Again, I'm not real sure. It doesn't feel that big, and I'm not real sure what's going to be here, how many lots we're going to have here. I don't know. And if Maxis put out one of their little, or not Maxis, EA put out one of their little article things where they list all the stuff. I haven't read all those yet, and I don't know why Maxis, you can't just put stuff in the trailer. That's what the trailer's for. I don't want to read. I don't want to read. I have to read all the time. I have to read stuff all the time. Last thing I want to do is go read to figure out this video game. So maybe it said somewhere the number of lots. I don't think so, because we haven't had the world trailer yet. And I think at that point, maybe it'll tell us how many lots. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll actually include lot sizes after 10 years right off the bat, so that those of us who do build and might want to build in advance have that opportunity. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be cool? But I don't know. Probably not. We are coming to the end, right? We're coming to the end. There's like a little thing where people kind of, oh, you know what? I almost missed this. I almost forgot this shit. So Gollum is back, right? So Gollum's back, and he's running a food cart. He's going to run a food stall. You're going to let Gollum run a food stall? Let me tell you something. First of all, in the first trailer, what does he do? He snatches up some headless fish right off the beach, eats it raw, and it's Gollum. Okay, you don't know what he's done with that fish. And these people get VD in this place all the time, so they're doing all sorts of stuff. And Gollum was alone for a long time, you guys. Just Gollum and the fish. And I think that Gollum may have taken that sort of adage, fish are your friends. You remember that from like Nemo or something, right? Fish are your friends. Well, I think that they were a little bit closer than we might ever want to know. And Gollum, you know, he's friends with that fish and kind of has his little way with that fish and does his little fish thing with that fish. Then he's going to feed it to you. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm not. But I'm saying if I see some weirdo wearing a hat with a bird's nest on top of it, which I think might be a club. I think it might be some sort of club, because one of the Plant Sims was wearing that hat too. But if I see someone doing that and they just reach down into the sand, they dig into the sand, they don't wash the sand off the thing. It's missing its head. It's still got its insides in it. And they just gobble that thing up. Oh, I'm leaving that beach. But anyway, he's running a food stall. And then we kind of bounce pretty quickly to this is really the hottest guy in the game, I think. He's like the apothecary guy at the stall. And from the start, I was like, oh man, he's like, really, this is the hot sim. This is the hot sim. I'm not usually into Thunderbird handlebar mustaches. It's not my deal at all in real life. But something about this guy with that little carved in head, you know, the hair and stuff. I'm like, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. So what am I doing? This is what I'm thinking. This is another thing we haven't got yet. And I'm going to start a petition, because petitions work sometimes, right? I'm going to start a petition where why don't we have 3 ways in game? Why? Why don't we? Or even a 4-way, because there's 3 guys here that are really hot, right? And then the 4th one's going to be my own sim. So why in the world don't we have that in game? And I'm not saying it has to be graphic. I'm not talking Wicked Whims here, right? I'm just saying 4 of them hanging out in the hot tub, and maybe there's a bigger explosion, right? Because there's more people in the tub. So that's all I'm saying. Why don't we have that? It doesn't have to be nasty. It doesn't have to be graphic. It could. If Maxis wants to go there and release like a M for mature pack, that'd be great. I'd buy it. I'd pay $80 for it. That's the thing I can sell for you for $80, Maxis, let me tell you. And I'm not kidding there. I'm not even kidding. So anyway, that's my petition. I'm going to start that petition to get that in game. Right? We're going to inject some realism into this game, into this place. And you know what's happening because they all got VD. Okay, everybody in this town has VD, so what's the holdup, Maxis? What? You know, you're going to just allude to it? Right. So let's finish up this thing here. We're rolling on through here. Oh, yeah. There is the tree stump, which apparently has a Jolly Green Giant in it, and he pops out. He didn't bring any vegetables with him, you guys, which is a missed opportunity, Maxis. Why didn't he jump out of there with like a can of corn and a can of green beans, some carrots, And ho, 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 Green Giant. You remember that? You remember that when I was a kid? Oh my God, those commercials were on all the time. As soon as I saw them, I was like, oh, it's a jolly green giant, you guys. Now, I don't know. It's really just a sim in a costume with green skin. And it didn't show him doing anything. That's a weird thing. This is a gameplay trailer. That's obviously gameplay. That's obviously part of it. It doesn't show him doing anything. Why? What does he do? What's he for? Why do we go there? Why do we go there? Is that how you become a plant sim? Maybe. Maybe it's an avenue to becoming a plant sim. Maybe you just get knowledge about potions and stuff. I don't know. And why do I not know? Because the gameplay trailer doesn't show it. That's why I don't know. Which again, why do you do a trailer and you see him pop out? We know he's in there, right? We know he's in there, but we don't know what he's doing. What we do know is, at least I think this, I guess I don't know it because I haven't seen the pack yet, but we've got solid glass. We've got frameless glass to make a true modern exterior. These are windows. We saw them earlier and I didn't recognize it earlier when I was first watching the trailer. I did recognize it here. And then when I was rewatching the trailer, I recognized it during the rewatch. So we're definitely getting, I'm going to say definite. I could be wrong. Who knows what the hell this stuff is, right? It doesn't tell us that, but I'm going to definitely say we're getting frameless glass windows so we can make a seamless sort of glass wall, or as seamless as we have there. There's still a line, but it's a modern sort of like frameless glass design. I love it. I pray, please, dear God, A, let me be right about it, right? Because I'd pay $40 just for that. B, let it work on round rooms. I hope and pray that it is designed to work on round rooms and not just square. That's just a toss-up. I hope. I hope that it works. Hope that it does. So that's a big thing for me. I'm super, 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 oh my God, excited. Now, of course, I had to finish off with, Hut there. Fairy the Hut or Nomad the Hut or whatever her name is. I don't even know what her name is. Some chick. Eating another damn thing off the ground, and it's no wonder they get sick. You know why you need the apothecary? You're always eating food off the ground. It's probably got botulism in it. Probably got VD in it. No wonder y'all got VD. You're eating shit off the ground. It's probably got all sorts of stuff on it. There's no telling. Gollum is feeding you. Okay, Gollum is running the food stall. So you tell me what you're going to get. You go watch The Lord of the Rings, and a few times when he brings food back to those hobbits, it's nasty. And with that, we get the big pull out. We get another sort of brief view of, I guess, what was it called? Everdew there. And we see, once again, just in case you didn't know from the first 8 trailers or however many, whatever we've had at this point, not 8, 4 maybe or something, counting the teaser. I think that's right. Anyway, it's available July the 10th. We'll see as more stuff comes out. Please hit like, subscribe, and notify because as stuff comes out, we'll continue to look at it together. And who knows who else we might meet. We've met the Queen of the Fairies. We've met Newbie, whatever his name. Rory. Rory was his name. Newbie Rory. We met him. We helped him cure his VD. Both of them. We helped cure both their VD. So proud of myself. I didn't really do anything, but I was there in spirit and I was offering moral support. So I'm going to pat myself on the back. And I'm going to say, good job, Jason, for being there for the Sims when they were in their gravest need from whoring around. That's just like with my friends, right? So anyway, please hit like, subscribe, and notify. And until next time, thanks for watching.